Welcome, heating and cooling professionals. It's been a while.
Yes.
This is another episode of the HVAC Webmasters podcast. I'm Madison.
I'm Amberlynn.
And we hope that you're feeling well these last couple of weeks. We are going to be talking about something that is very crucial to your business, especially with local SEO, and that is Google reviews.
Google reviews.
Now, you might automatically think, okay, why not just reviews in general? Why not Facebook recommendations or Yelp or Better Business Bureau?
Home Advisor, Angie's List, all those.
Yes. And while we'd love to talk about those at some point in the future, we feel that Google reviews is such an integral part of your business that it deserves its own podcast.
For sure. And as I was reading online today, more about it, since we were talking about it today, Local SEO Guide, which is actually an SEO company, was telling us that Google is one of the fastest growing review programs and one of the most important for your online optimization.
Yeah, and that makes sense too, because it's probably the most accessible out of all the different reviews out there.
For sure.
It's attached to your Google My Business tool, which is, if you haven't listened to our previous podcast on this,
oh yes,
it's a free tool, or a free business listing, I should say, offered by Google, and it allows you to start ranking in local searches, which is pretty much the only type of search that you're predominantly concerned about.
Right.
It's what enables people to find your services in your community. So, Amberlynn.
Yes, Madison.
How would you say Google reviews work?
Fairly well. No.
Excellent.
Yeah. Actually, Google reviews work as we stated with your Google My Business, which is part of your SERP or search engine results page. It's a very simple little add-on that's on the bottom after all of your contact information and post. And all your clients have to do, all they got to do, is go on there, give you a star rating, which is up to 5, and leave a few comments on how the service was, what they liked about it, and just how awesome your company is.
It's a very, very useful tool, and like we mentioned, it's very important for SEO. Now, if you're wondering, are Google reviews good for SEO? Well, they ain't bad.
And not at all. They're pretty awesome.
They're pretty great. They're one of the strongest indicators for local search of trustworthiness, which is something that both prospective clients and Google depend upon. On the client side, people will see reviews left by other customers, and as they've done for many years, they take that information, those recommendations, and use it to inform their own purchase decisions.
Right.
Now, for an HVAC, let's say an HVAC service that's as financially important as replacing your air conditioning system,
right,
or your furnace, that can mean the difference between, earning, thousands of dollars for a business or them passing over to another one.
And on top of that, all of the work that we do on the computer side, on the website side, for your SEO with your content and all of that, it only serves to bolster it.
That's very much true. Google they also look at reviews as an indicator of trustworthiness. And compared to most other review platforms, since it's actually a Google product tool platform, it's easier for them to judge the trustworthiness of those reviews, and thus they rate it very important. They rate it very highly.
Yes.
When they're considering whether or not to put your business up in a local Mac pack,
yes,
which is where all the traffic is.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
If you don't know, we're explaining everything today just in case. Local map packs are the 3 listings that you'll see whenever people search AC coolant repair or AC coolant recharge, I guess that's the better term, near me.
Yes, we did a very in-depth rundown of the map packs on the SERP video.
Yes.
Yes, we did. So definitely check out our past podcast for that.
The search marketing one, very good.
But bringing it back to Google reviews.
Yes.
So with them being as important as they are, the one thing you don't want to miss out on is actually getting those reviews populated on your Google My Business and making sure clients get there. So how do you get the clients from in front of you onto the computer to leave that review?
You know, we could complicate it. We could say that there's an elaborate process to doing it, but really it only comes down to, if you ask, you shall receive. Simply ask your clients right after you provide service, preferably when they have a big smile on their faces.
That's the ideal time.
Yes. You can hand them a business card if you want to, or you can just ask them and say, hey, reviews are a very important part of our business. People use them a lot when considering our services, and it would mean a lot to us if you would leave a 5-star review, and maybe if you're the technician, you can say, and mention my name as well.
Yeah.
Because one, that helps people to recognize your people, to understand the quality of it. It shows that it's a very legitimate review. There's no question whether or not it's fake or not.
No.
And it's just great business. Now, there are more fancier ways you can go through this.
For sure.
Our tool, previously referred to as Righteous Reviews, and now referred to as Brand Review, is very helpful in collecting reviews. You can check into a job site right after you finish providing the service, taking photos of the stuff as much as you want to, and that check-in provides an automatic request for review via text or email to the client.
It takes out that forgetting step.
Yes. The forgetting stage is the worst.
That is the hardest part, because you've already been in front of them. You've said, do this, please. You've given them a card, and then they go, okay, and then they forget. But at this point, you've already sent them, hey, a reminder, you've talked to them, and you have a picture of the system you installed or that you serviced.
Now, the two biggest perks of Brand Review is, one, that whenever it sends them that request, it provides the necessary links for them to do that, and they can go there immediately. They don't have to try to look you up and quickly fill it out. 5 minutes is gone. They've left that review. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to show up eventually. It's there. The second thing is, with our particular software, it geotags all those check-ins and all of those reviews to show approximately, not exactly, but approximately where the service was rendered. That's just a fancy way of saying when Google looks at the review, they can say, hey, it happened right here in this general neighborhood. It was this sort of service at this time. That is incredible data for them. And when the search engine reevaluates your site, they'll say, hey, Bob's looking for this type of service, and he's living in this area. We have a review from this HVAC company taking place in this exact community for this exact service.
Right.
We are ranking them up towards the top of local search results because we can depend on them to render the service.
So it's even more optimization for you and more authority and presence.
Yeah. Now, that's a lot of free advertising, I guess, for us, for Brand Review. But if you don't have that, then at least ask people. You know, that's the very least you can do. It's very important for your business, and people will understand that if you communicate that well. Now, that's the positive side of reviews. It's important that we also handle the negative side, which leads us into our next section. So, Amberlynn, we've covered the happy, positive side of reviews and how much they matter for SEO and really just for the client decision process in general. However, there's a darker side to reviews, and that's negative ones.
Yeah.
And the way your business either successfully deals with it or quote unquote bungles up the situation will have an important impact on whether or not people trust your services in the future. So when our clients, they do their best, but maybe they receive a negative review for some reason.
Right.
Stumbling there a little bit.
It happens.
They might think, oh my gosh, this negative review, it's the end of the world. And it can certainly feel like that because it's such a personal aspect, wouldn't you say?
Right, yeah. No HVAC professional actually wants to see a negative review. And it could feel like, oh my goodness, they're calling my company out. Now everybody knows this one time was not great. I need to completely wipe everything off the face of the map.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Yeah, a lot of businesses that have come to us for help, they think, do I just need to restart everything, get a new domain and start over? And the answer is
no.
Don't do that.
Don't panic. Don't, just breathe.
Yes, it basically takes any tenure that you had and it goes up in smoke like that. So there are easier ways to deal with negative reviews. And the simplest is to simply keep on collecting reviews. That may sound like like painting over or whitewashing over something, but in reality, people understand if you get a negative review every once in a while. As a matter of fact, they expect it. They even prefer it if you have a 2-star or a 3-star every once in a while, because it shows that you're human and that you're not editing you're not trying to manipulate your reviews, which means they can trust you better.
And again, Google is all about that transparency. So if the clients are happy and they see 5-star, 2-star, 4-star reviews, Google's going to say, at least they're genuine and they do service in these areas. So it's going to be for your benefit in the long run, even if it is scary with that one poor review.
Exactly. And one poor review out of 5 can make a big impact. One poor review out of 20, 50, 100, that doesn't even make a blip on the radar.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. Just continue to ask people about it. Now, you may have a situation where you are left a negative review and the person talks about the situation. There's a chance to actually win that customer back.
Right. So there's always the opportunity to go ahead and just discuss with them. And you just have to maintain courtesy and say, hey, I heard what you said. It sounded like this job did not go to plan. We are all about giving you the best HVAC repair and the best service for your home or business. What happened? How can we make this better? And just be human with them.
Yeah. If you handle it really well, you can take the conversation off your reviews channel. That way you can handle it, via email or phone. If things, it turns out you can't resolve it, that's fine. And it doesn't hurt you more. But if you can resolve it there, and if you do a really good job, you nail the customer service element of it, and you fix things for them, and you feel like they are satisfied with their services, consider asking them something along these lines. Hey, we're very happy that we were able to resolve this situation and to provide service that lives up to our standards. Reviews are a very important aspect of our business, and if you feel comfortable doing so and you feel satisfied with our services, we respectfully ask if you could do one of two things. One, delete the Google review.
Yeah.
Or edit the Google review. And if you've done all of that respectfully, it's very possible to do so. Now, we've had HVAC professionals come to us and be like, hey, can I change this review because they're kind of nasty? And the honest truth is Google doesn't want you touching reviews for obvious reasons, just because they want that to be as unmanipulated as possible and transparent. But also, in most cases, it would be too much work for them to do that. They will only remove reviews if they have some sort of something that goes against their guidelines, like a racial slur or just over-the-top, slanderous, and just mean, like visceral comment.
A personal attack, a harassment sort of situation.
A threat,
A threat.
Yeah. They will happily remove those. You can flag those and get those removed as quickly as Google can. But if you're asking, can Google delete reviews? Can Google change reviews? No.
It's unlikely.
The only person who can do that is the client themselves, and it's up to you to try to mend that bridge.
Right.
So, why don't we move into our last section here? And that is probably one of the most dangerous for a prospective client or HVAC personnel. That's fake reviews.
Yeah, there have been times where I've talked to some HVAC professionals who've been a little frustrated because, as we said previously, you've gone through all this, you got a 5-star review, or like you worked down that 1 star and you got it finally up to a 4 or a 5, and you're very proud of that, but it's not showing up, which is very frustrating. And so I've gotten a lot of, well, why aren't my Google reviews popping up?
Now, there are a number of reasons why Google reviews might disappear. If it's just a handful of them, it's possible that
it's a glitch.
It's a glitch, right?
Yeah.
Google does updates to try to prevent those, but they still happen every once in a while. If reviews disappear, try waiting a week or two, and if they don't come back, it might be more serious. But if they do come back, glitch.
Yeah.
If just a few of them disappear permanently, it's possible that they've been flagged for some reason, whether it's the Google guidelines violations we talked about a little while ago.
Right. Spammy.
If they think that they're fake for whatever reason, it's possible that Google might remove them. I think they try to err on the side of caution.
They do. But I've seen ones that are like, this person has only ever posted once in their life. And it could be that you did a service for them and they just decided that day would be the first day they'd start posting on Google. But if they never post again and they've only done that one and they don't have a picture, Google goes, is this even an account? They could have been super vague. It could have been ultra glowing. There are certain factors that go, something is wrong with this. Maybe this is not a real review.
Before we move along, there's also a kind of apocalypse version of Google reviews disappearing, and that's if some sort of GMB violation occurs. Again, we talked about Google My Business listings earlier. I tell you what, instead of trying to explain it, why don't I retell the story? It really explains it really well.
Yes.
So we had one client, and he was actually pulling in millions of dollars every year in revenue.
Which is awesome for him.
He was a pretty established company, and he was just really good at providing good customer service. So he was doing things right. He was asking for reviews. He was just, unfortunately, asking them the wrong way. And he didn't realize that doing this was wrong, but he, again, non-maliciously offered clients Starbucks gift cards to leave him a review.
Right.
Now, these were real clients. He had provided service.
Right.
And he just wanted to see their feedback because he knew how important Google reviews are.
And it doesn't sound bad. Like one Starbucks gift card doesn't sound awful.
But as Jason put it earlier, Google views that sort of incentive as quote unquote payola.
Oh goodness.
And they frown upon it.
Yeah.
Very much so. They completely suspended his GMB account. And considering that's one of the most important aspects of local search, his business basically disappeared off of Google search overnight.
That's terrifying.
His, I believe, hundreds of reviews disappeared as well.
Oh my God.
And he lost, in the span of a year, lost 2/3 of his revenue and had to lay off staff.
Oh God, and he started in the millions.
That was millions of dollars when this happened. And so that just goes to communicate how important having good collection practices are. Don't try. People ask us this: can Google reviews be fake? Can Google reviews be bought? The answer is yes, but don't
do it.
Don't do it. It is so dangerous, and so the benefit is so minor that risking your years of brand growth over a few fake reviews just isn't worth it. And if you're doing it, you're an angel. Let's say somebody else is doing it.
Some other guy.
On like this 100 scale, it's going to get noticed very quickly. And more importantly, people notice it when reviews seem fake.
Yeah. That can swiftly turn them away from your business. If they're looking at the reviews and they're like, these are all 5 stars and they're all kind of sounding the same, it could make them go, something's not right.
They sound like they were written by the contractor's grandmother, saying they did a good job.
Don't have Gran do your reviews.
Gran, stop. We're happy that you like us, but please don't.
She's so happy that her home is nice and heated this winter time, but no.
Yes. So don't have family members or friends review you unless you provided service for them and been paid to do so.
Right.
Don't buy real or fake reviews because it's just so dangerous for you. And it can quickly put you off the map.
It could plummet you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap fake reviews. Why don't let's do our takeaways.
Okay.
So, Amberlynn.
Yes, Madison.
If our HVAC clients or prospects weren't listening to anything we just said, and we wanted them,
which makes me sad.
It would make us sad. And you wanted them to remember one lesson from this, what would you want that to be?
Be memorable and ask for reviews. There's no harm in asking.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a great story.
Oh goodness.
Be memorable. We had a client, and I was actually reading through their reviews for some reason. I think I was trying to get a screenshot of it, and I found one. They showed up to the job site, and when the customer opened the door, the HVAC technician was there with a plate of freshly baked cookies.
That's the best!
And it was such a memorable moment that the customer wrote about it in their review. It was a very positive situation. They provided great service, but that was the thing that they remembered, and they actually went back and left the review. So that sort of memorable, it's a gimmick, but that sort of memorable little bonus for your customers, that could be enough to get you those reviews.
That's true. So that is my takeaway. What is your takeaway, Madison?
Remember the cookies.
Remember the cookies.
Yes.
One in chocolate chip.
Yes, definitely, most definitely. My takeaway, and this is actually going beyond Google reviews here.
Okay.
Remember how important they are, but also remember that they're just one element of SEO. Even within local SEO, there are so many things that go into optimizing your website. For instance, please, I beg you, do not write up a bullet list of services on your website and drop it on your homepage and call it quits, because it doesn't work.
No, it does not work.
And you will end up on the back pages of Google if you do that. Instead, write up service pages, keyword optimized, for each one of your services. Write up pages for them,
right,
I should say. And if you do that, one, you'll start ranking for more stuff, and you'll actually show up in local search more likely. So that, optimizing your GMB as much as possible, and of course, Google reviews are all very important factors.
Yeah.
All those together work together to provide more leads for your business and more revenue over time.
Complete online presence and strategy.
Yes, and if you need help creating that, you can always come
Us
to,
too. No.
not specifically
Not
us
specifically
two,
us two. HVAC
but
Webmasters.
HVAC Webmasters. Yes.
I was being funny. I apologize.
Thank you guys for listening in. Again, we hope that you are doing well, and we're so glad that you are here with us. Leave any questions you have in the comments section below, or better yet, give us a call and we'd be happy to talk about your strategy.
For sure.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.